Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie and I live in Utah, Zone 6/7. And today is a Sunday. I got home from church and was attending to a few of my watering chores and had a few minutes to sit down on a chair and observe some bees. Now, I'm not an entomologist and I don't have a lot of knowledge on bees or bugs or anything like that, but I was really intrigued and started going around my yard to see which insects were visiting which flowers. And I noticed something that I wanted to cover in this video, and I want to get your opinion, especially if you're an entomologist or if you have knowledge on bees. So let's go look at my chaste tree first, talk about that, and then I'll go around and show you all the different flowers that I have and what's visiting them. So like I said, it's midday, it's hot, and it's the only time of day where I see a lot of pollinators flying around. Now, this tree, it's been really hard for me to actually get good pictures of what's visiting it. But let's see if we can get some. Go around this way. We definitely have butterflies visiting this. This is the main place where butterflies visit. We get monarchs and swallowtails and whatever this little cute guy is. I really don't know what that butterfly is. But let's see if we can get some of the pollinators. You can see them buzzing, but they rarely stop. I know we have some honeybees, we have some wasps, but they're really busy. But there seems to be a huge variety on this plant. This little striped guy seems to be the one that visits the plant the most. Now I have butterfly bushes. This one is the Pugster amethyst, and if you notice, it's quite bare. This is visited by butterflies. I had a swallowtail visit this one. I've seen monarchs land on it, and I've seen the smaller butterflies land on it. And when the chaste tree right next to it is not in full bloom, then it's covered in bees. Let's go check on the Pugster blue and see if there's anything there. This is my Pugster blue. Not even the crickets are here. Oh, maybe there's a little tiny honeybee. She seems to be enjoying it. Now another one that's really interesting is my alyssum. Usually, if I don't have other more desirable flowers in bloom, this is swarming with larger insects. I don't know if you can see them, but the insects that are visiting these are very tiny. You could just barely see them flitting around. This is what most of them look like. They're really tiny. My drops of Jupiter oregano is in bloom, and it's covered by these guys. Don't know who he is or what he is. There's others, but this seems to be the most prevalent. Let's see if we can find something else. There's this guy. Now, one place where the honeybees seem to love and the bumblebees absolutely adore are my coneflowers. But I don't see a ton of the other smaller insect on these. There are times of the year where I see them, but not very often. Let's see if we can find a bumblebee. Mostly all I'm seeing is honeybees. Now another one where I rarely see any real visitors are my black-eyed Susan, except for, look at this guy. This is a different one. He's really cute. Now that might be one of the ones that we've seen before. Okay, I'm not seeing any bumblebees today, or at least right at this moment. So let's move on and see what else we can find. Now, another one that I thought for sure I'd see buzzing with insect activity are my sundancer daisies. These are natives, absolutely gorgeous little plants, but I very rarely see anything visiting them. And I'm wondering if it's like my catmint. Let me show you my catmint. I cut my catmint back a couple of weeks ago. It's blooming now. It's usually buzzing with all sorts of little different bugs and bees and insects, but there's really actually nothing on it. Maybe a honeybee or two every once in a while, but they seem to prefer other things right now. This right here is germander, and as you can see, it's absolutely buzzing, but it's buzzing with one kind of bee. And I asked the local entomology group what they are, and they are the wool carding bees. They're really, really cute. They're very promiscuous. I actually did see a couple of them breeding. The males seem very territorial. They're chasing each other away. They sit and hover. So I think there's a male that is like guarding this patch. He's guarding this patch for the so it's for the females, and then they chase each other away. So this is a very visited, I watched this for like an hour today, and they're really, really cute. Now, another plant that seems to be being visited mostly by the carding bees and every once in a while a honeybee are my agastache. The carding bees seem to absolutely really love this. And we have a guy who seems to be protecting the plant from other bees and insects. For some reason, they really seem to love the hyssop, and then they love the germander. They're really, really cute. I'm actually seeing a few different kinds of bees, but the carding bees seem to chase them off. Now, another flower that's been surprising to me that I planted for pollinators and for my benefit are the calendulas. And I rarely see anybody visiting the calendulas. I'm sure they do. And there's a little guy right here. Actually, maybe there's quite a few more than I thought. Okay, that makes me feel better. But I don't see them as often as I don't see them on these plants as often as I see them on other plants. And I don't know if this little guy is the same one that we've been seeing or if he's different. But the hands down favorite of all of my pollinators and beneficials in my yard right now is the yarrow. The yarrow is absolutely buzzing with life. Let's see if we could show you some of the different kinds of bees and bugs that are visiting this, because there's a whole variety. Got these wasps. I'm not sure what kind of wasp it is, but they absolutely love the yarrow. Another one that absolutely loves the yarrow are these little guys. They have the little pollen sacs on their legs. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but this seems to be the main visitor for the yarrow, and I haven't really seen them on too many of my other plants. Although, when nothing else is in bloom, they will swarm my alyssum plants. They're really cute. Here's this little guy again. And then zinnias also seem to be a favorite of some of the little guys. I've always got something interesting on the zinnias, but they don't swarm the zinnias as much as they do the other plants. Just got a few. Okay, we're back. My camera overheated and I overheated. It's almost 100 degrees. But here's another one that's just barely starting to bloom that the little pollinators and the honeybees love. This one is winter savory. It's just about to pop into full bloom. When it is in full bloom, it's completely covered in these little white flowers, and it'll be completely covered in pollinators. Now, another one that is beloved by my pollinators is fennel. Now, the pollinators seem to be more on the yarrow right now. This little yarrow, even though it's almost gone, is completely covered in little insects. Normally, I see a lot on the fennel, But I think when the yarrow's in bloom and it's still here, they prefer the yarrow. Another favorite is the dill, but the dill is no longer in bloom, except for we do have a few right here that seem to be visiting, that the pollinators seem to be visiting. Just a few more tiny little ones. There was a little guy on there, I don't know if we saw it. But they do love the dill and the coriander, and so I let these self-sow with abandon. I use the seeds for myself, and I leave the flowers for the pollinators. Now the hornets also seem to love the fennel. Hornets do eat other bugs, and so they'll actually eat aphids. I've seen them eat aphids. So I do let hornets live in my yard. If the nests are too close to a place that I use frequently, then I'll kill the nest. Now we're up in the shady part of my property, and this is my catmint. Not catnip, this is catmint. The honeybees seem to love it. And there's like these little wasps. Let me see if I can get a close-up on these guys. They're really skinny. I don't know what they are, but they're really kind of cool. So the catmint, even though I want to cut it back so it doesn't reseed itself, seems to be beloved by a lot of these little insects. So it's going to stay. But as you're noticing, it seems like each individual type of flower seems to attract different kinds of pollinators and different kinds of insects. Now that I'm drenched in sweat and my camera is just about to overheat again, the question that I'd like to ask you is, have you noticed the same thing on your plants? Are you noticing different pollinators seem to inhabit or like different flowers and like them at different times of the year? And if so, I'd love to hear what pollinators you're seeing and what they like, if you know what they are. And if there's any entomologists or people who know about insects that have been watching this, I would love to hear if this is a phenomenon that just actually happens in the natural world, or if it's just something that I'm noticing today. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful gardening.